Yesterday, Amelie made a tweet saying that she learned from an outside source, not Novel Horizon, that they were going bankrupt. Thing is, she did pre-orders for her figurines, and they haven't even started mailing them out. They made her a bunch of promises, nothing's happening. Now she's asking her fans to refund stuff. And then in the replies, there's Shondo, who has no idea what to do because she has 1,000 fans who placed $300,000 orders. So let's do the calculation real quick. Not me, but you guys can do it because I'm bad in math. What's 1,000 times $300? Like this controversy, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars here. So 300k just for Shondo. All of these guys' figurines, all of these girls' figurines are priced around from $200 to $300. And there's Andrea, who has also that problem. Henya, Fruit, Vienna, Bao, Shibidoki, they're all having issues. Now, go back a few months ago, in March, Grimmi also launched a silver coin with Novel Horizon. That silver, can you explain it in Yaoi term? There's no math in Yaoi, no. Fast forward, like, go back in time. In March, Grimmi launched a silver coin with Novel Horizon. The point was that she would make like a full silver coin. They would lock in the price of silver. It would become an investment because the price of silver was going up. And then like her fans would have this cool coin and it would be worth more money as time goes by. However, Novel Horizon fucked up and they didn't lock in the price of silver when it was low when they did the pre-orders. So the price of silver changed. And this, okay, wait, I'm trying to think how I'm gonna word this. The price of silver changed. They had to basically cancel the orders. Now, there's been like several back and forth and several tweets where she asked her like fans to, you know, refund the coins. Since March, like they already had issues there. But throughout all of the events, she always told them, you know, these are really nice people. Genuinely, their statement will clear up a lot of things. In July, we were already talking about a statement. We are now in August. We got the statement last night, only after a large VTuber like Amelie made a tweet that blew up. Okay, so they've been like fiddling her, like they've been like making her, they've been running laps around her for months now. They already knew something was wrong all the way back then. And she kept saying things like, I can't really talk about this right now. It's complicated. I can't really talk about this right now, but the statement will clear up things. Please don't say hate to them. They're good people. And then there's a very thoughtful article that I invite you guys to read in the Discord server that explains like all of the issues that Novel Horizon has had with their production line. It's a bunch of compounding issues. They had like a huge warehouse like meltdown in Texas, I think last year, which they never really recovered from. That's been pointed out by a lot of people. That is not part of the article, by the way. That was due to mismanagement, probably. Now, following that, there's just like tariffs, bunch of economical problem. Price of oil is going up. You need oil to make figurines. Just a bunch of delays. And it's just like all of these issues are compounding, so they probably took on more and more debts as time went by. Some people are receiving their goods, but most people aren't. But there's some history with Novel Horizon, this other VTuber agency called MSM that was like prominent in the 2024. In 2024, MSN, I think they lost like their entire roster because they found out that they weren't legally, how do you call that? Like they weren't like legally a company. Like they were running a company, but they weren't legally, they didn't have the legal paperwork for it. So they disbanded. Grimmi was with this person. The owner of the company was Set. So this is something that False ID covered more extensively. And I did like a collab with him and we just like spoke about it on the stream. This is how I know this. So that guy is Set from MSM. He is somehow connected to Novel Horizon. Now it's all like hush hush behind the scene. Nobody is confirming this, but we're hearing it from multiple sources. And VT has sleuthed some things together, which seems like it's very likely that he is closely connected to Novel Horizon. Grimmi after that whole fiasco with MSM and her hot sauce product, that they did her dirty, but I don't remember exactly how. She had a dispute with them, but then they kind of made up, and she was just like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. It was upsetting, but please don't say hate to everybody, to anybody. You know, it's things like that are rarely black and white. After that, apparently it's been known that she resumed contact with these people. I don't know why she's resuming contact with this shady individual. So Seth also, there's like heavy rumors that he really disliked False ID. He really heavily disliked all the other agencies, most of all Mythic. So, and I heard this from a lot of different sources too. So what the hell is happening? How are they all connected together? I don't know, but there's some threads there. There's something going on there. And now there's some rumors that that Seth person is also involved with Giga's new agency, so people are ratting about that. Seth versus the Mythic Mafia, exactly. Well, okay, so there's been like a lot of rats on VT set her off to go after Mythic. I have no idea if that's like... I think everything that I just told you guys about fueled those speculations. Now, Grimmi is not... She is really gonna take a huge financial burden because of how badly Novel Horizons screwed her. And I think she's been lied to, like, profoundly. We watched her stream yesterday. We watched like 40 minutes of one of her streams. We're gonna watch more today because she speaks about it again. And, I mean, she has to pay like about a down payment on a house. Because she's going to refund every single person that didn't get their Grimmi coin and that paid for one. And that's like tens of thousands of dollars. She said information she only made available in her application to MSM was leaked. That's fucked up. I think Grimmi was too trusting, but I think one criticism I do have is that she's not letting people be upset at Novel Horizon for so long. Now today she made a tweet and she was like, okay, I get it now. I didn't realize that many people were affected by this, but it just seems like there's all of these people that knew that Novel Horizon was doing badly and no one said anything. And now everybody's in the red. But she didn't trust Mythic over 2K. She went like way harder on Mythic and way more nuclear than she did with any of these people, and they screwed her for way more alleged money than what was said for Mythic to have like took from her. So the only conclusion that we can take from this is that Mythic has absolutely no riz. They are absolutely rizless. Like they're not charismatic or nice enough, I guess. Was Novel a VTuber agency? No, Novel Horizon is like a figurine. No, it's a figurine and merch store. Now, Giga is saying something different. Giga is saying that the figurine and the merch are separated in Novel Horizon, but that doesn't make sense from what... It doesn't coincide with the other information we're receiving. They're like that. See, like it's like Novel Horizon is falling into the pitfall that many companies that end up like defrauding their investors fall into. It starts with like good intentions. It always starts with good intentions. And then they start lying because they put the expectations way up. They realize that they can't fulfill them. And then it ends in fraud. I think I'd rather somebody is not nice with me than they steal from me or rob my fan base. They made no distinction in their message closing out about two different company branches. Yeah, so VTubing needs way more call-out culture because the sentiment of I knew something was wrong, but it wasn't my story to tell just leads to more victim. Bao was aware that it was delays, and I think she was pressuring them to send out the figurines, but I think a lot of people are still missing some. Like recently, she says, don't worry guys, I got paid. However, we ain't got the figurines. And then she's polling people. Yes, who got my figures? No, I did get my figure. There's one. There's 14. Like a few months ago it was like 100, 200, so they ended up fulfilling most of them at least. Yeah, she's learning. She's learning from all the other times she got scammed. Let's start from what we can watch.
Phil, bro, mine is fine. Mine is fine. That's why I mentioned that I had already worked on moving my stuff, and I had already specifically not gone forward with making a figure, so you know,
So yeah, that's what that is it. So she just Giga wasn't her story to tell. She was waiting for people already affected by it. So everybody's waiting to and then we found this. This is from a statement from the Novel Horizon, former warehouse manager. And there's a casual 300K wire fraud mentioned here. So let's read this. So he says, there are a few questions swirling around. I figured as a final post by this account, before it goes dormant, I'll answer what I can for projects. Most projects I completely completed their molding phase and were in production pre-paint. Some projects were hit by delays due to a wave of toy factory shutdowns in China, which required relocating productions plus cost. For what would have been our magnus opus, the Demon Cinder figure went through vigorous R&D. Not sure what R&D stands for. Delayed by the massive cancellation in early mid-2025, we were back on track and had finalized the molds before liquidity became strained. Oh, research and development. Okay. So I guess there was massive cancellations on the Demon Cinder figurine in mid-2025, which probably hurt them. And then he says some numbers. Logistics went from $5,000 shipments to 18 to 20K for same volume from early 2025 to current. That's crazy because I guess they're working on a pre-order basis and they're estimating these costs on like a $5,000 shipment. But then by the time the research and development is done and they're ready to receive the shipment, it's like tripled in price. Steel mold costs also increased by 30%. Novel Horizons in 2024 experienced a loss of $770,000, not including the 300K wire fraud. What is the 300K wire fraud? Why is there like just a casual mention of this? Did somebody fraud them of 300K? With a loss of $1.1 million in 2025. Our plan was to originally push back production until mid-late 2027 and use Horizon's merch revenue to slowly eat away at growing production costs. Wait, what? Their plan was to push back production until mid-late 2027? Well, because they're hoping the prices will go down? Like, why would they do that? And use Horizon's merch revenue to slowly eat away at growing production costs. But because our sale has declined substantially down roughly to 70 to 80% YOY, it became impossible to service the debt we'd taken on to continue operation. So someone was stealing and pocketing money to the tune of 300K? Oh, year over year. Year on year. What does wire fraud mean? It's like, oh, it's money laundering or false financial statements usually? Ah, okay, interesting. That was my next question, so thanks for answering that. It became impossible to, well, as Pogger has mentioned, the server fate will most likely end up catching as a catch-all for VTuber communities and friends, with Pogger taking the reins. Many new friendships were formed in this server, all connected by various hobbies, and it would be a shame to break those up. So it could be an insider or an outsider, like frauding them. Oh, it wasn't Yaoi on Yaoi. I'm disappointed. I don't know what happened that constitutes wire fraud. Usually it's insider. Wire means transfer, yeah. Yeah, like you can make a wire transfer. So this person is QRting my tweets with a fill-in clip saying it explains why it took them 2 years to deliver the fill-in figurine. Why would anyone work with them after that? The clip is from November 3rd, 2025. So I think all these individual VTubers had like issues with delays and so on. But it's not just since 2025, it's since 2024. Look at Fruit tweet. She says pre-orders were in October, November 2024, chat. After VShoujo exploded, Noble Horizon suddenly refused to work with me without an official signed document from VShoujo's CEO, who was ghosting us, so it was near impossible to acquire. We really tried. Security, I've waited and waited and waited for almost 2 years for updates. I was holding out for the hopes that my fans were going to receive what they paid for. I'm devastated. I don't even know if any of the figurines were created. I mean, sounds like really convenient for the CEO of Novel Horizon to ask for a signed document to like ship the figurines that her fans paid for. Shouldn't they be obligated to fulfill the agreement? But I want to watch that fill-in clip.
There. Chat, look at that!
I mean, the figurines look fucking awesome, though. I'll say that. Yeah, VTubers are used to working with merch companies that take months to 1 year to send. It's normalized, and you're like, you kind of like forget about it, and then you're like, oh yeah, what about that merch drop? What happened with it? and then you contact the company and they're like, yeah, we're having some delays, there's a lot of economical strain, which is true though. Like, a lot of companies went into the red this year. The tariffs and the economic situation killed a lot of like smaller business. Anyways, oh, somebody gave us more info. Thank you, Mazamune. So wire fraud is basically using phones, letter, paperwork, or computers to lie about money to benefit. Includes lying about taxes, bouncing money around to hide and skim money, saying an amount was ordered but less was, and then pocketing the difference, stuff like that. Interesting.
Look at that!
Did you hear they're making a remake of that 40-year-old Virgin movie?
Billion
Yeah, it's called Fillion
finally
Almost
came
Gets a
out.
Boyfriend.
Look how sick that is, bro. I can't believe it. It took it forever.
Hey
Dude.
Fillion, guess what?
Yeah!
My Fillion figure from Naval Horizon
Wait.
from when you hosted
I know,
VTuber
dude.
Awards
Chat.
finally showed up in
Bro,
the mail.
I'm so glad it finally showed up, John. This like took 2 years.
It
I
looks so
didn't
good.
write my essay
Yes.
on racism.
Wait, you didn't get your figurine?
I
Keep
never
the
want that
paper
to
white.
happen again. Do you guys know how bad I felt about it? I had to spend so many days yelling at people to make sure this junk got
How
out.
no
I
man
was
in the
very
snow
bothered.
snowballs.
Let's put it that way. But the statues have arrived. They're sick nasty. And I'm so glad you guys have them, okay? It is what it is. You know, sometimes it takes 2 years. Sometimes you need to go and wait a little bit of time. There.
I remember a bunch of VTubers saying don't freak out about it when False was covering it some years ago. It seemed a bit off at the time. Shaking my head, the culture of don't talk about it. We're just gonna turn away. A figurine shouldn't take that long. It was a small company, maybe, yes, but like, I don't fucking know, man. Rima, given what you know, would you trust a company that takes 2 years to bring out a figurine? No, but I don't think all of these VTubers knew that it took 2 years for others to receive their merch. I think this is like stuff that's happening in each respective VTuber's Discord server. So, like for example, I'm launching my figurine. I'm gonna tweet about it on Twitter and stuff like that. I'll announce it on Twitter. Once people receive some figurines, usually you retweet those on Twitter too, so it gives the impression that like, oh, some people received their merch and it looks really good. But what's going on behind the scene, then it's like, oh, but there's some people that haven't received their figurines. Then there's some tickets that are being opened in Discord saying like, oh, I said, Rima, it's been 6 months and they said they would ship it 3 months ago, but I haven't heard anything from them. Then you're like, hold on, how many people are missing their merch? Then you start doing like calls in your Discord server or in your YouTube community tab. Yo, if you haven't received your stuff, let me know so I can contact the company and ask them what's up. So I think that part, like the more practical part, is done with less visibility, so people aren't talking to each other that much. The other problem is that sometimes fans do complain on Twitter, and we see those. We see those, at least, because Twitter algorithm is like kind of cracked and on crack at the same time. So those can clue you in, but they don't go as viral as like the creators' tweets. The entire company screwed everyone over. Isn't it weird that Giga jumped ship and got all of her stuff moved to another warehouse? She announced how she's gonna be making a company or something. I mean, she said that I wasn't sure if anybody was gonna make a tweet or mention it, so I didn't want to say anything because my stuff wasn't affected. She knew that something was something was unprofessional on their part. I don't know how much she knew. And she was like, I'm just not gonna touch that. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna deal with that. And then I think she just realized that there's a lack of professionalism and there's a lack of like good sponsors and merch companies, so she wanted to start her own. I don't think there's like some kind of like nefarious intent. Yeah, but it wasn't her story to tell. Wink. Yeah, and it's a sponsor agency, not a merch company. It's sponsor bot. The thing is, now there's rumors that like Seth is also involved with this, and I don't know if I trust that guy. So, okay, let's read out the Grimmi statement. So she tweets, Novel Horizon put out their statement, but I want to apologize for saying what I said before. I didn't know that many peeps were affected for this long, and I think it's really normal. Everyone is so upset. It's been stressful these past few months, and you may have noticed I was isolating, not really hanging with anyone, canceling last second for everything. I was asked to wait until they posted an announcement about what was happening before speaking more about it. Now, if you remember, they told her an announcement was coming since July. We're in August now. It's been a month that this has been known, that they were out of money basically, and no one said anything. I didn't think it was going to be this long of a wait, so I was waiting. Was having a hard time waiting it out though, and feeling very anxious about the amount of money I feel I owe to the community in relation to this merch drop. The issue is, again, as I've explained before, kind of explained it badly. Who is Seth? Seth is the former agency owner of a defunct agency called MSM, who represented a lot of indie VTubers. But we found out in 2024 that they weren't like legally registered, so their whole roster left. And there was like some kind of like a little feud regarding some hot sauce between Grimmi and Seth. After that, they became friends again. And now people are speculating that he has ties with Novel Horizon. Some people on VT actually pulled up like the address out of wait, let me upload the image so I can show it. This is like this guy's proof that Horizon merch is ran by Seth, CEO of MSN. So Cottontail's merch store is ran by Seth's glitchless.gg. That used to be his domain. Email to us at support@glitchless.gg. The Cottontail VA merch, powered by Glitchless, refers to themselves as Horizon Merch 2 hours after domain is registered. So their domain name is horizonmerch.com. Wait a second. So maybe Horizon Merch and Horizon Figurines are two different things. And maybe Seth runs the merch side. So Giga maybe was right about that they're two separate things. Hold on now. That ad sponsor bot didn't come from V. It came from during Koki's meltdown a couple months ago. Oh, really? The Koki, when she was melting down with Grimmi? She was saying good things about Seth. That Seth person must have insane riz for all these VTubers to be saying amazing things about him. No, but for real, usually like these people, they're extremely charismatic. That's how they get away with stuff like that for so long. So Cottontail also had Reborn merch updates in 2024, and their support was at horizonmerch.com. Now, if you look at the Horizon Merch Twitter, Seth follows Horizon Merch on Twitter. Okay, that's not definitive proof. That one's a little weak, but I felt like this was pretty damning. It's not like definitive proof, but why is Glitchless linked with the Horizon merch store? Koki definitely does not like Seth. She accuses him of harassing, blacklisting, and doxing her. I gotta pull out this thread again. But I see Zen's figurines and Giga's poster on Horizon's merch page, so they do have some figurine. I don't know then. Was that the back and forth that went back on Blue Sky? Yeah, the rabbit hole is deep. No, I don't think they're all on it. Like, seriously, I don't think they are. I think there's a few people just getting lied to by some people. Grimmi's store/shipping address is linked with the same location and address as Novel Horizon in Texas. I'm also like getting some. Oh yeah, that was the Koki stuff. Oh, it's working again. I'm done hiding shit from the public. Grimmi has bullied my friends and behind the scenes, and I deeply involved with the mistrust other streamers have of us because of MSM. She continues to talk shit to this day. There was rumors being spread. I would have killed for oh man, I'm sorry, we just had the wrong idea, but you guys will stop spreading rumors back then. But people don't do that until there's consequences. And Grimmi responded to her, and they like kind of made up. Grimmi said, I don't feel that way about you at all. I'm sorry you felt that way, and we're keeping things. It's been a long time, but I was upset when everyone was upset and telling me stuff way back. I stopped talking to people I felt were a bad influence because the same stuff happened to me. I'm sorry. With Seth, he got on meds and is doing his own thing in life now. I don't say bad things about you, but I do owe you an apology for ever hurting you in the first place. With MSM, when people told me rumors way back, not asking you directly. Dude, MSM seems toxic. So the other VTuber responded, Grimmi, when I first heard about you and heard you had an interest in VA work as well, and I thought, wow, it would be cool if we somehow ended up working on the same project. That's all I knew and thought about you. And during the MSM stuff, a lot of people had accusations beyond the scenes, but in particular, me and Southside were labeled as fortune doxers who had doxed you specifically. We reached out to Seth, you and others as politely possible in order to try to clear up our reputation because people had been spreading vicious rumors about us and others, and a lot of emotional and friendship damage happened as a result. After MSM ended, there was no apology. No one cleared us of these accusations. No one took any responsibility. It was all just swept under the rug, and that's kind of their MO. And most of it just moved on thinking, well, some people are just going to buy that bullshit about us and we just have to move forward doing the best we can. I figured you were just fed some stupid BS, and you were also a victim, and for the most part I of you or harbored any ill will to you. However, recently I was shown proof of you talking poorly about 3am. I think that's a management company, which extended to the new talents who were so far removed from the MSM drama. Here I thought I had let this go, and behind the scenes, not even just a few months ago, you were jabbing at our reputations behind the scenes again. I'm honestly surprised you reached out with an apology, and I do appreciate the gesture, but for me to let this go fully, I only respectfully ask for two things. First, I just need an admission of the doxing you rumors MSN was responsible for. And again, this is it is just so crazy. Like, okay, one person tells you that MSN is shit-talking others, blacklisting VTubers, and spreading rumors about other VTubers. You're like, okay, that sounds schizo. Then you hear a second one. Then you and then you hear a third one, and all of these people are completely unrelated to each other. How is it that we keep hearing the same thing about MSM over and over again? Secondly, if you just stop spreading rumors and sparing people's name in private, it wouldn't get back to people like me. Knowing that would leave me with no reason to be angry with you. If those two things happen, I'm fine with even talking things out on Discord with you so we can just have a resolution. This whole experience has taught me a lot. I feel completely different. Before I was afraid to speak my mind and afraid of conflict. Interesting. Thank you for this refresher, guys. That only happened a few months ago, but it was good to refresh our minds on it. To be fair, Rima, they're only being mentioned now because we finally found a name to attach these mishappenings to. Yeah. Wait, the same Grimmi who was arguing with Mystic about her pay and stuff? Mystic! I thought she got screwed over by that dude too with her hot sauce company, but I guess I wasn't following too closely. She did. So she did get screwed by Seth with her hot sauce company. She did a few times even. Wait, a few times? I used to have empathy for her, but it's hard when you find out she's still actively trying to sabotage me and others behind closed doors. Manipulator tactics, man. I'm not even friends with Top anymore, but you guys should know she shit talks her too. Holy Koki. I'm not trying to sabotage. Grimmi responded to that. I'm not trying to sabotage you. Someone told me Top and her friends were saying mean things behind my back, and I was very hurt by it. I don't speak to them any longer either, but I rarely bring it up to people because it would hurt her. I'm not out to hurt you at all. It's going to be okay. You were put under a lot of stress for years. I wasn't good to you. No one communicated with you, and I can see it really hurt you. You shouldn't have treated that way. You shouldn't have been treated that way. It's okay you're upset with me, but you're going to be okay. People want you around. I want you around. It's alright. I think they're all turned against each other by this set guy. That's my rat. That's my speculation. Because Grimmi doesn't seem like a bad person. Like she seems very sweet. We went into like 10 million segues, and I still haven't finished reading the Grimmi statement. Yeah, there's just so much to unpack from this situation. And I have a feeling that everybody that's going to watch the highlight, they won't understand a thing. The hot sauce, I think he's handling her own hot sauce stuff now. Because in the stream that we watched yesterday, she kind of like mentioned some stuff about that. It from the sound of it sounded like she's the one handling them. Okay, Novel Horizon put out their statement, but I want to apologize for saying what I said before. I didn't know that many people were affected for this long. It's been stressful these past few months. And you may have noticed I was isolating, not really hanging with anyone, / canceling last second for everything. That is true. She's been like kind of off the radar and not really talking to anybody. She was having a hard time waiting for the statement, feeling very anxious about the amount of money I feel I owe the community in relation to this merge drop. Yeah, so as I was saying, she is personally refunding every single person from her community, every single person that's bought a Grimmi coin. And there's a lot of people that have bought the Grimmi coins. They go for $50 a pop. So yesterday, on a stream from 5 days ago, we went through that stream yesterday. It's on the VODs. She said that the amount of money she's going to owe is going to be equivalent to a down payment on a house. Now, I don't know how you guys' housing market is, but our housing market, like a down payment on a house here, it's like 100K. So, like I've said a few times, I was told things that weren't true about the project and assured it was all okay for a long time, only to find out the opposite was true. And I believe her there. I think these, like, often what happens with these companies is kind of like similar to VShojo. They're like, oh, your payment is delayed, but we're working on it. It's just gonna take, it's like they bet everything on delaying as much as possible in the hopes of maybe they keep like coping that they'll find the money elsewhere, but they keep just sinking themselves in the red further and further. 100K Canadian, how much is that in real money? Fuck you. Probably like 50K. So nothing was being produced after a certain point. I wonder, is she talking just about her stuff or just everybody's stuff? I don't want anyone to send hate to Novel, but I'm also bummed and upset it happened to so many other people. I don't care about sending hate to Novel. They robbed a bunch of people from money. I'm sorry, like this whole like bankruptcy thing, that hits me personally because I worked for a company once. They made me work. They hired me. I'm a freelancer. They hired me for 2 weeks. They made me work every single day. They, you know, you have an expense budget. So I fronted my expense, like $400. And then when it comes to pay the bills, they're like, oh, sorry, we're bankrupt. Oh, okay. Well, I just worked. You got work for me for free. Up to the last second, you knew you were gonna go bankrupt when you hired me. You knew it. Doesn't just happen out of the blue. You squeezed every single penny and labor that you could from me, only to just be like, oh well, bankrupt. I don't have to pay you. What is that ultimate cheat code like loophole bullshit? No, sorry, I'm not buying it. Yeah, I can understand. I think she. Yeah, no, you're right, Bizarre Murphy. I can understand not asking her fans to not send harass. Like, I think she just doesn't want the hate to come from her statement because she would feel bad. Although she should be the one that's the most upset about it. She's the one refunding people from her own pocket. I'm once again asking peeps to try to do chargebacks, and if that doesn't work, I'd like to refund you considering people were putting tons of money into some of these orders. Please screenshot your orders and process extensively, and I'll do what I can to get this started and sorted out. That being said, I don't have the kind of money that people used for their orders offhand, so it'll take time for me to get everyone paid out and ask for your patience. I really do deeply apologize. I'm gonna be running my own merch stuff. Have had experience doing this kind of thing in the far past, and will be packing and selling items with my mom for the most part from this point on. I might work with some companies in the future, but I really do apologize. It wasn't my intention at all for this to happen. I apologize for not listening to people saying it wasn't a good idea to continue working with them. I think, yeah, her chat was just like, her chat couldn't believe this was happening. Yeah, Grimmi would be the worst scammer if she is refunding people. Like, oh, she's streaming right now. We can look at more clips of her. Throughout, she repeatedly reiterates this is her own perspective to not attack Noble Horizon, that they're nice people. Most wouldn't have known what was happening, and she's not trying to make them look evil. Oh, okay, she means the staff. Most of the staff wouldn't have known what was happening. Well, okay, hold up. Noble Horizon said that they only had like two. That's the reason they gave for their silence, which is the most bullshit reason ever, I believe. The Noble Horizon announcement is heartbreaking because you know their intentions were pure and good, but unfortunately things just fall apart. You know who else had good intentions when they started their company? That one guy that like is in prison now. That did like the fraud company. Fuck. Sam, was it Sam? Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah, that guy. They were gonna change the world. You know who else had really good intentions? Elizabeth Holmes from Theranos. $6 billion fraud, by the way. It all starts with good intentions. I mean, your actions make you good or not. I thought you were gonna say VShojo. Well, VShojo is the obvious one. To all those companies watching this stream, here's some unsolicited advice. If you can't pay your workers, then don't make them work for free. That's a special kind of unnecessary cruelty that makes you slowly use your humanity. Yes, well said. Well said, Carlisle. Oh yeah, the statement. They didn't even post their statement on Twitter. They posted it on their website. That's the reason they gave, okay, for the extended radio silence, by the way. The extended radio silence was the result of nearly all staff being let go in an effort to preserve what little capital remained. The warehouse had been running on a 2-person team for 2 months, which is why many packages took longer than usual to ship. Okay, but the warehouse people weren't gonna tell the VTubers. Like, they're not the one in charge of doing communications. So I don't know why they're padding this. Yeah, Face Connect also had delay. I mean, all VTuber merch have delays. But Face Connect, yeah, at least sent their stuff. Never work for free and never work above your pay grade. Know your worth. True, always not. Thank you for the 200 bits. Okay, back to Grimmi. I can say it now. I think you said the thing. There's no money to refund people. It's going to come down to the creators making things right and figuring things out. Yeah, let's have Shondo refund $300,000. What is she supposed to do? There's 1,000 people that bought her figurines. Is she supposed to owe back to refund her fan base for somebody else's mistake and false promises? So Novel Horizon is going bankrupt. They're ceasing operation. There's no money to get even if you tried suing them. That's true. Chat repeatedly brings up Set. She says Set and Novel Horizon are different people. She's met and spoken to both of them, hesitant to mention any details about them, thinks people would be very aggressive towards them. On Grimmi Coin, she only worked with Novel Horizons, not Set. Oh, okay. I may have more information about Set coming up in the upcoming days, but I need to verify if it's legitimate first. It might not be. It might just be like... Because we receive a lot of tips. If you guys have a tip or something you want to provide or information, feel free to open a ticket in our Discord. From what she understands, the money got used in different places, such as warehouse stuff, employees. She thinks there was no ill intent, no scam, just mismanagement. Chat compares it to VShojo. She says they're similar in that there was no ill intent, but it wasn't okay. Okay, yeah, that's fair. Majority of orders for Grimmi Coin were not fulfilled. Insist on seeking bank charges, otherwise she'll personally refund them. She said seek chargebacks is because she knew earlier than others what was happening with Grimmi Coin and there would be no refund. But expected the statement to come out in a few days, not the extended silence, and she got stressed. That's messed up, man. But yeah, like when companies are in the red, they ask for chargebacks. And their accounts just go into the negative, but they don't care because they're going bankrupt. So they're just gonna they're gonna close all that and they're gonna declare their debts and that's it. Like it kind of works in their favor. She was lied about the coins being minted and there being a silver shortage. Wait, what? She was lied about that? That there was no silver shortage? The company was ready to produce them. Novel Horizon was trying to keep things under control, but the reality was many projects were not in a good place. Suspects they were using new money coming in to fill older orders. So basically what Bisho did probably. How does the pre-orders work? No, the way the pre-orders work is that the fans pay the full amount and usually Novel Horizon has usually when it comes with affiliated deals like that, they set you up with like a dashboard where you can see every order that goes through and how much cut you'll be receiving from all of them. For merch, usually it's kind of low. It's like a 10%, maybe 20% cut that goes to the VTuber. And then you gotta it depends on the company. It can all be different, but it either goes into your bank account automatically at the end of the month, or most of the times they just send you like the sum after a certain amount of time. Since Bao said something along the lines of I got paid, I'm assuming it's like the second version where they just send them the sum. They're holding on to the money until the VTuber requests it. She doesn't know anything about the structure of Novel Horizons. I do want to apologize to the people that told me consistently that it was a bad idea to be working on Novel Horizons. I thought everything they were telling me was just at face value. I think they were a nice person. Oh my god, they are not nice. Stop with that shit. I mean, I can be really polite. Like, I'll be really nice to somebody as I'm robbing them, like, as I have my hands in their pocket, taking all of their stuff. Like, that's my summary of what she said. Thank you for the summary. She had a completely different idea of what was going on behind the scenes.
That is crazy. Okay, that is a lot. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, see, like, Rima is a super villain, and she is really nice. Yeah. Everybody just pretends that they're nicer than they are. I just pretend that I'm badder than I am. You know? I think we need some modesty in the world. It's better to pretend you're worse than you are, actually, because everybody else just pretends they're way nicer than they are. Yeah, if you're polite about robbing me, it's okay.
Well, yeah, I had a very different idea of like how things were going.
Unk alert, shut up. You can't just type unk alert in chat because you run out of money. Mods.
Okay, my previous company is going to declare bankruptcy while holding on to... Wait, they're declaring bankruptcy holding on to millions? That's crazy.
Wait, what? $1 million? Did I hear that correctly?
That is crazy. Okay, that is a lot. I don't know what happened there. Well, yeah, I had a very different idea of like how things were going. Okay, my previous company is going to declare bankruptcy while holding on to... Wait, they're declaring bankruptcy holding on to millions? That's crazy.
Is she responding to the chat holding on to millions, or is she talking about Novel Horizon?
Alright, not ideal.
Oh, it's someone else's company, okay.
Not ideal. Okay, well, I definitely understand why everyone's so pissed. This is like not like... There's like way more people than I thought. It's not like a very isolated incident. Like this is like a lot.
It's a lot of money.
Okay, so my heart goes out to everyone affected. This wasn't cool. The years make everything suspicious. Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay, so this clip is her finding out in real time. Fuck,
Damn, dude, that sucks. Seeing the conspiracy stuff about it being Seth now too in like comments. I don't know. It wasn't Seth, the interactions I had with them. This was Novel Horizons. They were two different people, but it looks like there was also a lot of stuff going on there. I'm gonna read all this though at some point. Okay, I'm gonna bookmark that.
No. No one is saying that Seth is at the head of Novel Horizon. People are speculating that he has close ties with Novel Horizon. Close professional ties or close personal ties. We don't know that. No one's saying he's the one that's doing this, like, that's at the head of Novel Horizon that's doing all that. Maybe I don't know. It could be anything from like facilitating communications to introducing people to each other to having some like that board person owning parts of the domains or owning parts of the company or branch, or I don't know.
How far did Ambi and Grimmi get? I got to like chapter 2. I think chapter 2 is when I got completely stuck. Information I sent to back on July 1st? No, I don't believe so. Like, maybe. It's possible, but I do not believe so. Though some people did send me marshmallows saying that, like, it wasn't a good idea to work with them. But on the other hand, I thought it was okay. I really do apologize. I'm gonna pay everything back that I can as penance.
Oh, some people are saying it might be some shell company thing. Okay, the shell company, like, that's too complicado for me. I've seen some stuff about it, but like my brain is not computing.
Yeah, damn, this sucks. Oh my god, there's a lot of... Okay, sorry. I think that, yeah, Vex said something that I think is accurate. People probably need to communicate about the people they work with in terms of like how like good it's gonna go with merchandise and stuff. Were you actually good, or do you think you were good? I'm doing good now. Just, it kind of feels a little better to not be the only person on Twitter talking about it, because everyone probably thought I was insane. So that's helpful. Yeah.
No comments. If you were the 3D modeler at Novel Horizons and have the 3D files for anyone's figurines that never came out, hit up my email, and maybe with the creator's permission, we can optimize it for 3D print so people can still get it print and paint style. I don't know how or who to set it up with yet, but a lot of these figures were gorgeous and should be printed at least with creator's blessing. The 3D files used to make the figurine should be released to the creators or someone and shouldn't be left to rot. I know print and paint isn't for everyone, but honestly that might be the best case scenario for all the creators and Novel Horizon if they just release and ship files out so people can still enjoy the designs. I don't think anyone's getting their money back here. 3D print and print files are an untapped market for VTuber merch. Local shops will print anything for a fee for someone without a printer. Provide optional commercial license so independent merch sellers can paint and sell at cons at increased price, gives more power to the community. That could be an idea. Like, also I saw a 3D modeler says that she's given... Oh, here. Nanobytes did some designs for them. This Novel Horizon situation is bullshit. I don't give a fuck. All the designs I made for them can be used however they want by the VTubers. Therefore, wishing everyone affected the best. This is somebody who worked on the 3Ds. Update on Novel Horizon. Some former staff have gone out of their way to get affected creators their 3D files and data back. So there's that going on, but also apparently Novel Horizon is going to try to get the unshipped merch back into the creators' hands so they can liquidate or ship those. But I don't think they're allowed to share address and stuff, so I don't know how that's going to work. I received fruits this morning, and some other creators should have been contacted as well. They didn't have to do this, and none of this would be possible without them. I won't mention any names for privacy given the sensitivity of the situation, but Evil Guy Nikita, the GOAT, for coordinating all of this honestly. And I will make sure they understand how much this means to anyone affected. These former staff but hope back into a bleak situation, and we're also grateful. If you're a creator that hasn't been contacted, haven't received files, reach out to either Nikita or me, and we'll see what can be done. Cool! There's some staff that are going out of their way that used to work at Novel Horizon, and they are trying to recoup as much as they can to do anything for the creators. Fruit tweeting, if I had a penny for every time a company went bankrupt before paying me what is owed. ... Zion here tweeting, I'm genuinely confused where all of the revenue went. If the numbers are true, Shondo did almost $300,000 on her figure alone. I would assume others had figures around the same price range as hers and would have done around the same amount of sales. I just don't know how you can make what we can assume to be over $500,000 in sales and not deliver products. Yeah, and they don't even mention refunds. Like their statement basically says we don't have any solution to offer. At this time, we cannot offer much in the way of solutions. They just say that whatever they have sitting in the warehouse is going to be give back to the creator, and they're just like, it was an honor to serve the VTubing community. Okay, but where's the money? Like, I mean, I get it. They can't do anything about it because there's no more money, so they can't refund. But if I gotta put a blame on somebody, I'm gonna put it on them. This was crazy to me. They got all of this money up front but couldn't put out their products. Well, apparently, like, this guy, the warehouse manager, said that, like, like one shipment, like everything like quadrupled in price. So like the logistics went from 5K a shipment to 18 to 20K for the same volume. So let's say you did all of your calculations for a figurine to cost you $150. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna sell it for $300 and I'll pocket the difference. But suddenly just shipping those like tripled in this is quadrupled in price, not just triple, quadruple. So you're in the red in everything you do because you made those prices like 6 months before, a year before, in the case of fruit 2 years before, but you're producing them in 2026 and everything has changed. I was telling this story to my chat yesterday where so I ordered something with Uwu Market, like I ordered some VTuber merch, and by the time there was no tariffs back then. By the time they got produced and they shipped, which was 6 months later or 7-8 months later, then the economical landscape had completely shifted. And when it arrived, I got billed for $300 in tariffs. I was like, that's kind of a shock. Like, that's more than my order. You don't really anticipate spending that much. But it's all because the processes are too slow.
Totally can talk about it if you guys want to, just because I've been consistently, I don't know how to put it, I've been consistently, I guess, dealing with it for a bit, but
Wouldn't you be aware of shipping pricing before sending stuff out? Oh, no, this is what they're talking about at the warehouse manager. They're talking about the shipping from China to them or wherever the figurines are being made. They're getting shipped. That's why it's $20,000. We're talking about huge boxes full of figurines. When they're shipping out the figurines to individual customers, that's going to be a much lower price. It wouldn't be $20,000. We're talking about, those big boats that have the big boxes on them, like the storage boxes, or sometimes it's done by airplane. I don't know exactly where the figurines are made. Are they made in China, then to Texas warehouse, then to customers? Exactly. It's not so much to ship 2 containers from China. Wait, really? Yeah, containers. Yeah. Freighters.
They specifically said that there would be an announcement that would help people more with stuff, so we got to it. Woo! That's pretty much it. Yeah, it seems like it's public information now. Yeah, it's public information now. So I was talking about a little bit in between lines and stuff. I haven't heard any news. Okay, that's alright. Everyone was bamboozled. That's a good way of putting it. Everyone was bamboozled.
The starting soon screen is really cool. It's very horror game-like.
From my perspective, this is what happened. I'm gonna let you know everything that went on in my area, okay. And I think this happened to a lot more peeps. I don't think that the people that work there are evil. They've all done a tremendous amount of trying to make things right for people. I think they just couldn't. So I can say it now. I think they've said it in the thing. There is no money to refund people. So they pretty much summed it up. There is no money to refund people for these figure orders. It's going to come down to the creator making things right and figuring things out. I don't usually talk about this because it's in the past, but I actually successfully ran a printing and shipping business for my parents at one point, and when I stopped helping them, it went out of business. So I'm confident I can do this stuff myself. Which is funny, but Is this the same Seth that you and your friends are always talking about? Seth and Novel Horizons are different people.
Not sure if you're... Oh god, it looks small, but not sure if you're still talking about the Novel Horizon scam, but can I let a bit off steam about one of my grievances from being in Grimmi's chat? So people were trying to talk her out of the decisions, but her shitty stupid mods keep passively aggressively threatening them, the one with the Yama in the name, and trying to tell her that if someone scams you for that much money, maybe he is a piece of shit and evil, but her mod sure enabled her bad decisions and attacks of any sort of common sense. Fucking mods, man. Mods are the worst. They're the fucking worst, right, mods? That sounds like my mods, honestly. Enabling my bad decisions. I think but I mean we did watch the stream where she was telling shut up with the Unk alert mods. We did watch the stream where she was telling her chat what's going on with the Grimmi silver coin. There was a lot of pushback in chat. They were like asking, they were like, you should sue them. You should sue them. And she was like, I can't, but I can't really, no, I don't want to. But I can't really talk about it.
They are two different individuals. I have met both of them. Like, well, I guess I've like spoken to both of them at the same time. They're two different people.
Yeah, they are two different people, but from what I'm hearing behind the scenes, they're connected. Yeah, I mean, chat often just suggests even if she wanted to sue them, it wouldn't amount to anything. It would just be a waste of resources and money. Because yeah, even VTuber is not getting sued right now. But also, I don't know if she would want to sue them, even if she did, even if she could recoup some money. I don't know, actually. That might have changed now that she saw how many people got screwed. How can you go bankrupt after receiving 300k from one figure release? Just say you fucking pocketed the money and used it on things unrelated to the figures you were supposed to be making. Either pocketed or didn't realize how much shipping would cost with tariffs and instantly went in the red, call it. But also Niji Sanji had trouble, have spoken about price hikes when it comes to making the figurines themselves. I think there's price hikes at every step of the process. On top of that, mismanagement. On top of that, the warehouse melting last summer. The 300k wire fraud that we know nothing about. The you know, $500,000 here, $500,000 over there, just slipping through the cracks. It does add up. It's gonna fucking add up. Yeah, plastic for figures is made from petroleum. Everything plastic is more expensive? That's crazy. So even Tupperwares are more expensive? 300k in wire fraud is exactly the amount made from Shonda's figurine drop. We figured it out. We figured it out. Get ratting. Get ratting, everybody. This is an answer to Grimmi. You don't owe anyone anything. It's not your fault, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend people shouldn't hate, be angry at Novel Horizon. They actively refuse to communicate to creators and customers and waited to pull the rug on everyone once someone who they couldn't just ignore got involved. I've been waiting on a figure since 2024 with 0 replies to emails I've sent them. They even did what? They even did a second wave of pre-orders without fulfilling the first wave a few months ago, only to tell us now that it's never made it past the prototype phase, that intentionally misleading and basically a scam. There should be no civility when it comes to stuff like this. The latest figurine collab that they did is in August 2025 with Shibidoki. Since then, they haven't announced a new figurine, and I guess that should have tipped us off. Dude, I feel so bad for the kettle. Not Henya Dayo. I cannot believe that after a year this is happening again. I'm so tired. Man. Henya. At least Hyde replied to her. They said, we're so sorry to hear and would love to help you. Hyde are in everybody's replies. They're kind of cool. They're very involved in the VTuber community. Yeah, life is pain, Dayo. Oh, Joel. My merch store was hosted by Novel Horizons, but since their bankruptcy, I'll be switching hosts. It's a bummer because I really like them. They generally saved my ass from getting a massive debt above my head when my plushie pre-orders were cancelled in China. Different story. They were passionate and helped me make a lot of wonderful small merch a reality and gave me opportunities for conventions too. It sucks that this happened. There will be a big merch drop when it opens back up on a different host. Unfortunately, Novel closed down right before a drop was ready to happen, but hey, it just means the reopening will be more exciting, I guess. No, I would not make a figurine with Novel Horizon. Of course not. I mean, you can't anymore. They don't exist anymore anyway. But even if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I do believe that they were passionate, but it's kind of like, wait, it reminds me of one of those small VTuber agency CEOs that were like, you know, they're so passionate about the projects they put together, but there's all this stuff in the background that they're mishandling. A silver figurine, yeah. Just like a few pounds of raw silver. Cottontail, this is really disappointing. No, actually, this fucking sucks. As far as I can tell, Novel spent all the money and never made a single of my figurine. Okay, so this was a Shibidoki figurine, but look how cute they are, man. Such a shame. Okay, Wait. This is gonna blow you guys' mind off. Guess when she announced her figurine? In 2024. November 23rd, 2024, 2 years ago. They haven't made a single one, and they've been releasing others people figurines afterwards. It's a fucking scandal. Bluffers who pre-order a figurine, when you dispute your charge with PayPal or your credit card, please show the post about the company bankruptcy. It should increase your chances of getting a refund past their normal window. Bro, the window is way past. Yeah, so, and they kept on releasing more drops after that. Did the VTubers at least get a cut of the sales? I didn't get a single dollar. Lena, wait, what? Lena used to run a figurine website, by the way, with really pretty figurines. But why did they prioritize others people figurines? Was it because, oh, the creators that are more pushy, they're like, oh shit, we'll pay those guys back. Yeah, they spent all the money they wanted to bring a new gen and take all their income to pay the older members, just fucking over more and more people. Okay, this is Cinder's Discord announcement. Hi, Pyropups. I'm aware of the situation with Novel Horizon. As you may have heard by now, they've announced that they're bankrupt and closing down. Their ongoing projects and pre-orders will not be fulfilled, and they have no money to refund them either. This includes my demon figures and many other creators' figures. Pre-orders for my demon figure originally opened in 2024. Jesus Christ. Approached Novel Horizons to reopen pre-orders in December 2025 for those who didn't have a chance to get one before. As far as I was aware, they were already well into production. They lied to her about them being in production. That was unfortunately not the case. They had not started production on their figurines either. I'm so sorry to all of you who put your trust in me that my demon figures would be delivered. I don't know what to do yet, but I'm trying to find any solution I can to make this right. My heart goes out to all the creators in their communities affected by this. According to the Noble Horizon guy, all the Demon Cinder pre-order cancellation messed them up. Well, yeah, I mean, it probably set them back for sure. But technically, if they had managed their money well, it wouldn't have set them back because they hadn't started production on the figurines, so there was nothing to set them back on. But because they were counting on that money to settle other bills, then it sets them up. Right? Am I like just making shit up, or am I making sense, chat? Dude, the cause and tail stuff is fucking crazy. So TLDR, it's Vesper's fault. Yeah, that company is level 100 Riz and level 100% int. Level 5 business production. Yeah, they were telling a lot of people that their figurines were under production. That was not the case. The company is is good at everything except doing actual business. I think they ran for a couple, I don't know, when was Novel Horizon founded? In August 2020. In 2020. They started having troubles in 2024, so 4 years. How many people got 0 products and got 100% scammed in total? Good question. Like in their articles, they were saying that some figurines were on their way. Like here, they were saying that like the Project Racing Juniper is not going to be delayed. Project Bao, they're like, oh, they were claiming that Project Bao was gonna arrive before all the other ones. That never happened. And yeah, they haven't even started the production. Who is writing this article, by the way? Did they like lie to this intern to write this article? Project City, Ariel, Foggy Log, and Ghosty Sage. The cities were meant to be sent out by early February, but a delay in transit forced them to sit in storage. This little guys will be hitting our main storage very soon. This is the Yokai Giga drop. They're restocking it too. Yeah, I want to know how many production orders they took money from but never even started. Let's look at some of these VTubers accounts. Oh yeah, unrelated to Novel Horizon, but kind of related to people having merch issues. Apollo Rise, formerly from Mythos, saying she's also parting ways with her company Otona JP. She won't be working with them moving forward. Jonathan Solis, the author of the article, is the CEO of Novel Horizons. Interesting. That's really good information. I've heard his name too. It makes you think what level of output were they having that they remain in good standing? Was it bare minimum? Well, they're retweeting some figurines on, like, for example, like some Grimmi coins were paid out. Like, some stuff was shipped. This person got their Henia statue. This person got their Zentrea. Bao. There's some Baos that were there, even though Bao, in her Discord announcement, there seems to be that some people I still haven't received their orders. You know, we sourced some people that received their Grimmi coins. That's a Grimmi coin, for example. Okay, so Apollo says, I'm disappointed with how several things turned out because so many of you purchased and supported my product. I feel like you deserve some context. I was recently informed that because we did not reach the 500 units sold, I'll not be receiving payment for the units that were sold. The biggest issue for me is that I was never personally made aware of this 500 unit requirement beforehand. I never personally signed a contract agreeing to it. The collab was previously arranged under previous arrangement, so there may have been conversation agreements that I personally wasn't included in or made aware of. I put a lot of time and effort into promoting this product. I advertised it on my stream, posted about it on my social, tried my best to make it successful, and we sold a lot. Damn, that sucks. So, but at least her fans will get something, maybe, but she won't do merch with them. Early last month, already I communicated I was stepping away and going on hiatus for mental health. Despite that, we were later told that we had ghosted them. I was still being asked to promote the product while I was away, which didn't sit right with me considering the reason I stepped back in the first place. All of this together is why we decided not to continue working on Otona JP. Please don't send hate or harassment towards Otona JP or anyone involved. Damn. I wonder how many people will now try to scam Grimmi by making her pay the coin merch value, then getting back the money from a fraud claim. Yeah, it's gonna be very hard to track. Hopefully her audience doesn't want to scam their streamer. Yeah, I think when it comes to these kind of stuff, it's the people. They will ship products to the people that are keeping track, or to the creators that are keeping track of what's going on and that are the most on their back. Let's say I'm seeing that Novel Horizon has like delays, or I'm asking my community often about like, hey, did you guys receive your products? And you tell me no. If I like keep pressuring them for updates, then they'll have to give me something. I have a feeling that they did that to those that were pressuring them the most to kind of like placate them and just try to stay afloat as long as they could that way. Yeah, this sucks. This whole situation sucks. Is there anything new? Oh, so this is the warehouse guy from Novel Horizon. Technically, yes, but we are trying to stay on track with how we typically have always done fulfillment, being domestics first. We're just getting the bulk of that right now. All I can say from the ground is we're just getting into the junipers. Oh, this was on July 7th. We may have knocked out about 1/5 or 1/6 of the US orders today, probably closer to 1/6. July 13. Gotcha. Unfortunately, it's a number game which isn't my department. I just make things get in and out of the warehouse and handle the errant CS issues that crop up since I used to oversee that too. I wish I had a better answer, but because different countries all have their own default import rates, some getting rid of their mini-me's exemption entirely, and their own policies regarding the tariffs, and because we ship DDU in nearly every case, the decision was made to hold off for a bit. Oh, my phone just died. And see how it played out. International shipping has always been tricky for us, and we even had frustrated customers understandably email us to ask why they had to pay their customs an additional fee that equaled roughly half of the money they had already spent on their merchandise. I mean, yeah, that's the problem with merch and VTubers pre-order. The big e-commerce websites, they don't make you pay duty taxes, and I don't know, they're like prepaid or they're included in their price, or maybe they have some kind of deals going on. But I know that when I shop from like international chains, most of the time there's just no tariffs on those. But if I'm buying from a small company, there's going to be. Women not charging their phone. It's just because like when I pass out in bed, I'm like too lazy to like extend my arm and like grab my cable. I just fall asleep with like my phone next to me. TLDR, time and cost varies. We don't want people to pay necessarily inflated import rates and it gets sent back to us, especially since the economy is not so good. If you want it shipped, we will, but you're accepting whatever risk is involved. I mean, yeah, they gotta do that at this point. You can't, even if they ship back the figurine because they don't want to pay for the income tax, for the duty taxes, then they would keep the pay though. FedEx is the only service that has beat the brakes off any other service as far as overall cost goes. For us at least, it only gets bad if they are area they don't regularly service in Canada or any other potentially rural part of the country. Sometimes the service fees we get charged pretty much double the original shipping cost. Fortunately, if we get enough good rates and save $1 here and there, it adds up for the bad ones. Or at least that's what I tell myself. It makes sense if you don't think about it. We very rarely used USB in the past years, and I've never been impressed. FedEx at least made the effort to try and net us good rates to different zones. They saved our hides when we did Silvervale. That's what I was hearing, especially with the tariff thing. They really tried to milk what they could, more so than usual. DM me your other numbers. I'm aware of this happening, although I'm not sure why. I'm not personally looked into this. No idea if anyone else on the team has. I'm just aware that it's happened in the past at least once, but I want to say someone was trying to look up something from before we updated the website. Could be if only I had to get a hold of Wix support once and it was like pulling teeth to do it. Yeah, Wix support is notoriously bad. Much appreciated, big dog. Shoot me a DM. Not sure if yours made it out, but I shot you a DM. Trying to slam through as many of those as possible. I'm assuming it's orders. There's a lot. This one's not relevant. Yeah, that's it. Oh, there's this. Also, yesterday, hey y'all, wanted to drop by to let y'all know I've been laid off recently. I've still been helping the company underground by donating my time as it allows, but I can only speak for myself. Any further info, which would have to come from the company directly. I've had the time of my life shipping your merch for the last 3-something years and getting to meet some of you at conventions we've attended. Thank you so much for your support, and I'm sorry this is the outcome. It's generally been a privilege to work in this space, and I want to try and make everything I did count. Having grown up around cons and knowing people worked hard to make it fun for me, getting to work the other side of the table and pay it forward has been an absolute delight. Man, he does seem like a good egg, though. He seems really passionate about this. This is so sad. Yeah, international shipping is abysmally expensive these days. Shipping plus duties and customs. I like barely shop internationally anymore. It's unaffordable. It's literally unaffordable. To clarify, I took a pay cut a while ago to maybe have gas for the metaphorical car to get further. For at least the last 2 weeks, if not a month. I've been more or less working for free willingly, so effectively unemployed. Yo, poor guy. He took a pay cut. He was working for free just to try to get these orders out when they ran out of money. This has been talked about recently, yet to be determined, but potentially a catch-all community server. Figured it was worth archiving at the very least. To clarify, I've been the only one consistently going in on almost a daily basis. Wait, so if they didn't have the guy that was working for free, they'd have no one? There are times I have up to a few extra sets of hands, those of which are also acting pro bono. Sometimes I will pay how I can with something like 6 packs of cigars, since I know they're doing me a solid in addition to all of y'all. What? They were all working for free? Attention, please. The goal was to have a good sale to refuel our tank, but it was pretty bad. Very much under what we expected. So we met an earlier end than anticipated. But it really was a sign of the times. All the older figures flew and almost nothing else. I wonder what was the good sale to refuel their tank that went much under what they expected. Ooh, that's gonna fuel some rats. I completely understand. I will say the timelines the company laid out very early on were ambitious, I assume he means, and in my personal opinion, unrealistic. The course was corrected as much as it could be, but as Nobler said in announcements, which I reposted here, it ultimately boils down to economics. The only other this is we never intentionally canceled the project despite low numbers. Yeah, Pogger is welcome to the unpaid Rima basement, by the way. Pogger, you seem like a good person. What sucks is we were able to get some out. I do not have an exact number, but at a point, silver skyrocketed and apparently we couldn't afford it all plus cost to mint. I didn't know we weren't able to do it all pretty much just before y'all found out. Doubtful, even though it wasn't built that way. That's basically what our summer sale was. Yeah. He's been non-stop helping people out. There's a lot more. Yo, this guy is like the GOAT, actually. He really did give a lot of himself into this. Even right now, he's posted again about someone's Henia order. He's trying to find the warehouse. Aww. Damn. Were Novel Horizons at Offkai? Sales were kind of bad for most of us there. Oh, really? Wasn't as expected as previous years? I wonder what affected the sales. Probably just people have less spending income. Offkai was a flop this year. Did you go? Yeah, I hope this guy finds an awesome job. He deserves it. Yeah, I feel terrible for him. Yeah, everything is too damn expensive right now. Or, I mean, invest in the food juice, yeah. And then there was the World Cup at the same time as Offkai. There's still so many unanswered questions. Like we said earlier, I'd like to know how many creators just did not have any figurines produced. I sold like 58% of what I sold last year. There was a Comic-Con at the same time too, I think. Oh boy. Wow. Wow. Okay, well, in the Novel Horizon announcement, they said 70 to 80% down year on year. So mega fucked. Yeah. Imagine doing only 20% of the amount of money you used to make. I mean, I guess you have to pivot to domestic factories and solutions, but even then, I mean, you're like the minimum wage in China is not the same as in Texas, I assume. But if they were having trouble producing some figures, they shouldn't have been accepting orders for new ones. You're not wrong. And a lot of people are saying they had like 0 answers when they try to contact Novel Horizon for their orders. This is all the VTubers that have been affected so far that we know of. There might be more. They're already having mega trouble since 2024. They had a loss of $770,000, not including the 300K wire fraud. That's like $1.7 million, and the loss of 1.1 million in 2025. They're just mega fucked. Yeah, they borrowed money from VTuber fans. They took their money and never shipped the merch, and they kept hoping the next sale will put us in the green. The next sale might go really well. Because they were in debt and their older drops had massive sales and figurines they put on hold, praying the tariff situation changes. A few companies put like their international shipments on hold, praying the tariff situation changed. And then they put in new drops that bombed in more debt. Rinse and repeat. Yep. It's like compounding issues. That's literally what happened to VShojo, like bar for bar. I mean, we're short of stealing charity money, but yeah. I mean, yeah, VShojo, I mean, the charity money came from fans, so yeah, they borrowed from fans there too. What kind of scale were they needed to be successful? They were already at their peak. I don't know what kind of miracle they were expecting. If Fillion came back from hiatus and launched a figurine with them, they could have made a lot of money. I don't know. They had all the biggest VTubers already. I mean, the amount of money that you make in 2026 will never be the same as you made in 2020 or even in 2024. Like the economical landscape is just not the same. People just don't have that money to spend on merch anymore. It's fucked up because the merch and figurines drops that happen later will never get paid to funnel the money to the older drops. No, exactly. Not just the new gen for VShojo was already planned to never pay them to take their income and give it to the other girls they owed. Yeah, absolutely. And all of these companies, they keep pumping out new products because they're like, we got to keep going till the finish line, till we're done, because they just desperately are looking for money. Stocks are sky high in 2026. The people that are making the most money from the stock market right now are like millionaires. So not us. But yeah, I mean, my stocks are up, except the whole live one. But it's not some kind of crazy money. I like the Pogger guy, he's nice, but the owner of Novel Horizon fucked everyone up, of course. If they were in debt since 2024 and they kept on taking figurines, I meant only for air conditioning, Rima, it's hot as fuck out here. Oh, well, I'm sorry for you. Buy a fan or something? Wait! I've got such a great idea for a merch drop. We should make a Rima fan that speaks to you or something. That yells at you like, what do you want, pendejo? That's a terrible idea. No, it would sell like Hot Pockets. Everybody needs a fan right now because it's hot. Unk alert. Yeah, what the nanny? I don't want Rima fans to talk to me. Rima fan that you can hit with an unk alert would sell out. Pitch it to Novel Horizon. Yeah, I mean, they're so nice. They make all of my crazy niche ideas for merch come true. I mean, it's also there's also this that you're too nice. So they make you a lot of wonderful small merch, but I don't think the small merch is really profitable. So then they take on more debts. And then this other guy, the Pogger one, he also said that even if a drop flopped completely and they didn't have many sales, they would not cancel it. So I guess they didn't have a limit on the amount of figurines that needed to be fulfilled before going through with the order. So that's also bad for their business. It's good for PR, but it's bad for business. Hey, you! Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button. And I'll see you in the next video.